folks. You are listening to Women Emerging Fearlessly. Did you know that 4 out of 5 women struggle with confidence and knowing who they are? This show is dedicated to helping women lead their lives with fearless confidence and to know how amazing they truly are. In this show, you will hear from women who are emerging fearlessly, who have overcome many obstacles to pursue their dreams and passions, and they will inspire you and encourage you to stand up, step out, and speak up. Be your authentic self and bring your true gifts to the world. My name is Janelle Anderson, and I am your host. If you enjoy this podcast, please leave a great review and subscribe and share it with your friends. Enjoy the show. Well, hey everyone, welcome to this episode of Women Emerging Fearlessly. This is your host, Janelle Anderson. I'm thrilled to be with you today. It's a gorgeous day outside, and I am super excited to be here with Millen Livis, and she is going to share lots of golden nuggets with us today about finance and about being independently wealthy. Love that topic. Millen is a financial independence mentor, a best-selling author, an investor, and an entrepreneur. She's a graduate of the acclaimed Wharton Business School. She holds a master's degree in physics. She's a certified NLP practitioner and certified instant miracle energy healer. And Millen combines her traditional and holistic education to help professional and entrepreneurial women become financially independent and retire early, so that they enjoy more choices and more freedom without having to worry about money. That sounds divine. She does this by using the Millionaire Method, her time-tested holistic system for creating financial independence. Millen is financially independent, and she has been for over 10 years, happily remarried, and lives in resort-like locations in the south of France and South Florida. Wow, that sounds awesome. So welcome to the show, Millen. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Thank you so much for having me, Janelle. I'm excited to talk to you and to your listeners as well, to connect, not to talk to them, to connect.
Yeah. And I think you have some very valuable information. I think everyone that I know would love to be financially independent and living in resort-like locations, right? So tell us a little bit about your story and what brought you to being a financial mentor in the first place.
So my story is very inspiring because my beginning is very humble. I'm a first-generation immigrant from Lithuania. And when I came to the United States 30 years ago, I didn't even speak English at all. So I started as a florist assistant, receiving $4.50 minimum wage for my hourly work. And I was thrilled because I was able to help my family. And eventually we saved up for our first used car so we could go and have interviews. We could drive to the interviews. So anyway, within 1 year, I self-taught English, and my first professional job was IT consultant for Merrill Lynch. I forgot to mention that when I came to the United States, I already was fairly well educated. I had a master's degree in physics from my country. But when you don't speak the language, it doesn't really matter. So after my first job, I changed companies, always worked for Wall Street companies, major Wall Street companies, and always in the World Trade Center, always. So it was Merrill Lynch, Bankers Trust, Dean Witter, Morgan Stanley, Deutsche Bank, American Express, but always in the World Trade Center. And I can tell you why it's important. So life seemed to be wonderful. I literally created my American dream. I was married. I came to the US with my then husband and 8-year-old girl. And we eventually bought a beautiful house in the suburbs of New York. We had both prestigious, well-paying jobs, swimming pool parties, tennis parties, basically just American dream, like I said. And it's hard to explain why at some point I started to feel void inside. I can't explain this. I don't know why, what happened, but somehow I started to feel that I was dying inside, that I was living superficial life. And my marriage was not really working kind of the way I wanted. My husband was always busy. He had his own company, software company with his friends. And then he was also a IT consultant for Wall Street companies as well. And, I was kind of very lonely. And at work, even though initially I really wanted to work on Wall Street, I wanted to learn how to invest in the stock market and, make good money and have a beautiful home. But then at some point it became meaningless or not enough. I cannot say that I didn't want to have my home and I didn't want to have a new car, but it didn't have the same importance for me anymore. Something was just really happening within me that was making me feel kind of costing in life, and I didn't want to cost. I wanted to enjoy my life. So at some point I became a workaholic and also shopaholic. So I would go, buy clothes because I was working in World Trade Center. So I will cross the street, go to Century 21, buy some shoes, clothes, you name it, come home, try it on, bring it all back because how much clothes and how much shoes you need to have to fill your void. It's pretty much limitless. So I clearly remember one day sitting in my office, looking at the computer and asking myself, is this all there is? Are you going to live that way for the rest of your life? And the answer was resounding no. So because I wasn't sure what to do, I decided to go to the business school. So I was like, everybody is doing that and it will give me some purpose. It will give me some focus and goal. So I applied to five best business schools, some of the best business schools in the country. And of course, I had to choose the most expensive, the most prestigious one, which was the Wharton Business School. And at the same time, my marriage kind of fell apart. So I left, I walked out of my marriage, rented a small apartment in Hoboken, New Jersey, across the river from downtown New York. And then I asked my management if I could work part-time and go to Wharton part-time. And initially they said, okay, but then at the last moment, they said, no, you have to choose. You choose either stay here full-time or if you want to go to your school, go to Wharton. It was a tough choice because I really needed money. I was already on my own, but somehow my intuition was screaming, leave, follow your dream. So I left, I resigned. I think it was either end of May 2001 or June 2001. That's when the school was starting shortly after. And that saved me because 9/11 happened just a couple of months later.
Wow.
And I witnessed 9/11 live from the other side of the river. And I was looking at those buildings and thinking like, I should have been there. I could have been there. Like I was saved. I don't know why. It was a huge shock to my system because my friends, my colleagues were there. Ironically, my ex-husband overslept that day as well because he was working in the same World Trade Center. So, like I said, with the grace of God, for some reason we were saved, and that created a lasting effect on me. I realized that intuition is real, and this is something that I need to trust and follow. Anyhow, when I graduated from the Wharton with this prestigious MBA degree, I didn't know what to do because I realized I don't want to go back to corporate America. I didn't want that. And so that was the first time when I actually took some time off to figure out what Millen wants, what all these moves left and right for. And that was the first time I realized that my core value, my very, very important drive in life is freedom. I didn't want to depend on any man in my life, no matter how good he is. I didn't want to. I didn't want to depend on any boss that could tell me your job is terminated, or we going through layoffs or whatever, even though I never was laid off. I didn't want to depend on any government too. I felt that it was something that's so important to me that I decided that I want to figure out how to become financially independent, because that was my ticket to freedom. And my research showed, I was already investing in the stock market. My research showed that most financially independent people had multiple sources of income. And that was my big aha. I decided that I want to have multiple sources of income, not just stock market, not just business, not just real estate, but multiple sources of income. And the next step for me was to start investing in real estate. So I decided to study. I learned from the best investors around the country, travel everywhere to follow the best ones. And eventually I started my own investment company and found business partners to join me who trusted me enough and believed in me enough to join my efforts. And the beginning was great. We had a team. We had great properties, not only in New Jersey, but in New York, but around the country. But then 2008 happened, and my business partner said, "We'll change. We changed our mind. We want money back. We want out. Basically, we want out." And I was like, "Wow, I can't. Not now." And that was a very important moment for me, because I felt obligated to give them money back, even though I knew it was bad timing. But I just felt so uncomfortable with the fact that I could not satisfy their request. I became lost. I became confused. I became depressed. And one time when I was driving to one of my real estate clients, I got into a car accident and injured my neck, didn't have health insurance. So the perfect storm was set up perfectly. I was financially broke because I ran out of my money. I was living off my savings. I was emotionally broken because I felt like I'm such a failure. I felt literally that I am a failure was written on my forehead. So I was hiding from my classmates, from friends, from everybody. And in addition, my family stopped talking to me after I left my husband because they felt that I lost my mind. How come you live in a man who doesn't beat you up, who doesn't drink, who is a good provider? Like, what's wrong with you? And they felt that I lost my mind, and maybe I did, which is kind of like logical. So anyway, I was very lonely and became depressed, and it was a moment when I started contemplating how to end my life because I just couldn't take it anymore. And then somehow I was walking on the street and I met this woman. I think I saw her from somewhere, but she was not like a close friend or something. And we started talking, and I think she detected something in what I said. And she said, "I want you to talk to this guy." I said, "Okay, so give me his phone number." She said, No. I know you. You will not call him. Give me your number and he will call you, because I think before I mentioned that, I just not into connecting to people right now. I don't call anyone. So that's why she knew that I would not make this call. I was avoiding people. And so he called me, and he was a life coach. And that was the moment that basically not only changed my life, but saved my life, literally saved my life, because I realized with his help that failure is not a person, it's an event. I realized that perceptions are relative based on your level of consciousness, your level of awareness. So there are so many things that started shifting in my life And interesting enough, I started intuitively, I started meditating, I started praying because I was not raised as a religious person. I didn't pray before, I didn't meditate before. I didn't have anyone else to turn to. And that's when I turned to higher power and high intelligence. And now I call it intelligent love. So to make the long story short, I started feeling better. I started eating again because I was not eating, I was not sleeping, I was ready to go. I started feeling better. I started thinking more focused, I became more functional. And it just happened that I made really good investments during this time. And within a couple of years, I became financially independent. So, and when that happened, I was so grateful and so overwhelmed with a sense of appreciation and desire to give back to other women who might be going through similar experiences that I decided to, I wrote some information about my journey that I felt like I was pregnant with this, like I could not write it. And that's how my first book was published. The name is A Shift Toward Purpose, Secrets to an Amazing Career. So it became a bestseller. And then next year, I published another book I self-published books, by the way. Another book was a Shift Toward Abundance, Secrets to Financial Freedom. Became another bestseller. And everybody expected that now I'm kind of like became a writer and, I will write. But, first of all, I never felt like a writer. I was not trained as a writer. The way I think is very like if then, very logical thinking. So like I said, I wrote these books because I felt like I needed to give birth to this information. So, and then I felt that I want to work with people. I want to work with women. I want to guide them. I want to show them that it's possible, that it's not a pipe dream, that if someone like me who was, first of all, not even speaking the language and then overcame really very challenging state of mind and state of being, if I could do it, then they could do it too. And I reverse engineered my steps, like what would help me to achieve. And that's how I came up with my Millionaire system, Millionaire Method, which is basically a holistic system for becoming financially independent. I'm sorry if it was a little bit long answer to your short question, but I wanted to, it's very important to give specifics of the journey. So it's not like, 2 months ago I was poor and lonely, and today I'm financially independent and happy and live in the beautiful locations in the world. So I just wanted to show that it was a journey, the journey that changed me, the journey that molded me into the person, into the woman who is resilient, who knows that she is very capable, that she can overcome any obstacles, and that is driven. I feel very driven and very passionate about my work.
Yeah, that's obvious. And your story is so powerful. I'm glad you shared all of it because it shows women that, and this is what I love about my show is to inspire women that, hey, if Millen could do that, I can do it too. Because look at your story and look at all the ups and downs and look at all that you learned, but you kept being open, and you learned how to tap into your intuition, and you were open to when those opportunities came your way, like the life coach. And that's, I think, very, very key, is to not, we struggle often with failure. All of us have experienced failure. And we often will let failure shut us down and think, oh, well, I failed so many times, I don't want to try again. But you learned how to move past that and to look at failure as just an event. I love that. It's not a person. And to pick yourself back up again. I mean, like even just watching 9/11, that just blew me away. Like, what was that like? And how knowing that you could have been there. That had to have been super impactful and kind of a wake up call. Like, what am I doing with my life? And I talk about that a lot too. It's just, I know I had a wake up call experience. Like, we can walk through our life kind of sleepwalking and not being aware and not really going after our dreams and not really being driven and motivated to fulfill our purpose. Or we can choose to wake up and let those failures or those experiences speak to the deepest part of us and kind of call us out of that sleepiness into life, and that's what your story is telling us. Like, it's a great journey.
I just want to share something else. I really feel that some people live almost life. Like, I almost did that. I almost got there. And, they're afraid to take risks. They're afraid to change things in life. That's why I called my company Dare to Change Life, because I had to dare to change my life. I had to dare to walk out of my financially comfortable marriage. I had to dare to leave my Wall Street career, right? So, and I heard Les Brown saying this the other day on Clubhouse. I love what he said. He said that hell is when you die and you meet the person who you were meant to be.
Oh, man.
And I was like, when I heard it, I was like,
yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I don't want this.
Yeah.
I don't want this.
Yes. No, that was similar to mine. My wake up call, I thought, I don't want to get to the end of my journey and realize I missed out on the destiny I had. And because my pastor was showing this path of destiny, and he was talking about how you have a path, you have things you're called to do, but you choose whether to follow the path or not. And like you said, daring to stay on the path that was meant for you, or daring to take another path out other than the one that's really not yours, like the comfort zone. And people get golden handcuffs, because they have good paying jobs, but they're not living their dream. And it does take courage. It does take bravery to dare.
Something else that I was just talking to one of my clients this morning, and I told her, you've got to let go of comfortable,
yes.
of knowing something that is known. And you have to really, I don't like word have to, but you've got to welcome and embrace unknown.
Yes.
Because if we only want to create from what is known, what is familiar, we're creating from the past. Because only past is known and familiar.
Wow.
And then we just recreate the past.
That's powerful. That's a quote right there. And so true. What is known is from the past, and what is unknown is in the future, and it feels risky. But it's that phrase, you have to be comfortable with the uncomfortable. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable and taking those chances and daring to lead. Like Brene Brown has a book, Dare to Lead. It is scary. And it involves taking a chance and a risk, but that's where your freedom is, right? It's on the other side of fear. I read this book where that was a quote. On the other side of your fear is freedom. And that was the other thing I loved about what you were talking about, that being one of your top values. It's one of mine as well. Freedom is so important. The freedom to choose, and to speak your truth and to live your life on your terms. And of course, financial freedom, you can live where you want and not worry about money, which is something I've done most of my life, is worry about money. So talk to us a little bit about that. How do you help people to not worry about money?
So when I work with my clients, I use my what I call now the Millionaire Method, which I said is a holistic system for becoming financially independent. And it has 4 pillars. So if that's okay, I will briefly describe what it is, because I think some people just maybe had experience with different money coaches that only focus on mindset or only focus on investing. And I refer to my system as holistic because it's very integrative. It has very practical money skills, which are very important. We live in a physical plane as well as spiritual plane. So on the physical plane, we have to know how to manage money intentionally, how to save, how to budget, how to invest, how to not just invest, but invest strategically, how to create a portfolio that would be bulletproof against like inflation that is coming and ups and downs of the market, etc. Right? So that these are practical skills. And I teach investing in the stock market. I teach investing in real estate. I also teach how to build and grow business. These are practical money skills, but I also incorporated in my method and in my training what I call soft skills. So one of these very, very important skill sets, and it is a skill set, is developing wealth mindset, because we are programmed constantly every day to be wealth consumers. Buy more, buy this, buy that. So we are exposed to this wealth consumer mentality constantly. So I work with my clients to shift this from being a wealth consumer to being a wealth creator and wealth amplifier. So that's one of the skill sets that I teach. And another one, which I think is very important, and I kind of alluded to this before, is that we've got to be aware and leverage the power that we have inside us. It's real, it's accessible, and there is a way to develop this ability to access this power. It's like infinitely powerful computer that stores all the information, and you can access this. So I call it practical spirituality. You know, there are different names for this, but basically this is it's a skill set, and I every day I work on myself to expand my awareness. My latest passion is science of consciousness. Every day I have a mindfulness routine, and I just realized that there is no limit for our desire to expand. And I happen to have very, very, very curious mind, so I never kind of stop learning and growing, because I want to be the best version of me, and I want to have the best life I could create. And that includes helping others to create their best lives as well.
Yeah, that's really exciting and very interesting. I know talking about mindset, like my mindset, and probably a lot of people that are listening, women, my mindset was always there isn't enough. You got to hold on to what you have. And we've invested some, but not a lot. And part of that was we worked in nonprofits, and I worked in a private school. So we didn't really accumulate. And so I grew up in a big family. We didn't have a lot. My dad was in the Navy, and my mom always worried about money. So I had all this mindset around money being limited. And so I've been working on trying to expand that. But what you're saying is so great. And so important for women to grab a hold of, that we can become financially independent, because most women just feel like you said earlier, like it's just a pipe dream, like that's not possible for me. And I know that's what I've struggled with most of my life too. Different people have different definitions of financial freedom. So tell us what yours is.
And I just want to tell you that I tend to use I'm very sensitive to words. I think words have particular frequency of vibration. So I chose to use term financially independent versus financial freedom, because for me, freedom, it's a big word, word that incorporates not only financial freedom, but, freedom in general, right? To feel like a free person. So financial independence for me means, and I kind of mentioned this earlier, means that I'm not dependent on any man. I don't have to be with someone because I'm afraid that I cannot support myself. I don't have to be at any job or in any business because I'm afraid that I cannot find something else and I have to please my boss. And I don't have to depend on any government. And right now it's very, very important because after this COVID disaster, a lot of people are dependent on government, unfortunately. And I think it's the solution that I see is to be more aware of what you can do with what you've got right now, and take baby steps, because just like with money, small actions create a compound effect. And if you want to move from point A to point Z, you've got to start where you are and take small actions that will eventually create the effect that you will end up where you want to be. And I think I just posted this quote by Zig Ziglar in my group today. I'm paraphrasing that if you don't know where you're going, if you don't aim at something specifically, you will hit it every time. So it's very important to be very clear, what is it that you're going for? And that's why, I offer a free consultation with me. And on this consultation, I discuss with people who speak with me, what are the steps that they can take from where they are to where they want to be. Very specific, simple steps. They're simple, but they require awareness. They require know-how, because you know what, most people don't go for their goals because they say, well, I don't have the skills. And the fact is that, well, skills can be attained. So we talked about the specific, simple steps that they can take to get from whatever they are to where they want to be, because it's very important to know what kind of lifestyle, financial independence lifestyle you want to create. Because like you said, it's very different for different people. For some, it would be maybe driving a Lamborghini and living in a mansion by the ocean, and that will require more passive income every month, versus if someone just wants to start with being financially independent and build from there, that will require different monthly passive stream of income as well. So it's very important what you want to create and where you start, and you've got to know your numbers. You've got to calculate your specific, unique financial freedom number. So once you have your target, somehow in life, universe will move mountains for you to get to this target, right? And then things will just, if you need to learn particular skill sets because you want to have one of your source of income coming from stock market income, or from real estate income, or from your successful books, or from maybe internet marketing. Different people have different interest in terms of sources of income. So then you will work on these skill sets that you need to attain.
So there's a lot of money coaches out there. What makes you unique?
Well, I hope that I kind of described it already, but let me just summarize it, that from my experience, and that's when I was deciding how I want to work with my clients, with my students, I decided that it cannot be just investment, because initially I just wanted to teach people, to teach especially women, how to invest in the stock market so they will be confident investors, and how to invest in real estate, because that's something that I've done successfully. But then I realized that that was not how I got to where I am right now, that it was more than that. So that's when I realized that I've got to have a holistic approach. And not only now I teach money, practical money skills, and I teach very important mindset skills as well as spiritual principles. I also incorporate into my coaching energetic healing, because we store our painful memories, our traumas, our habits. We store these patterns in the form of energetic entities in our bodies. And I learn and develop this ability to help my clients release this stored energetic entities, like release these painful memories that sabotage them, sabotage their efforts, sabotage their goals. And it's amazing how it works. It's called instant miracle. And it like my body becomes a conduit to this process, and it's very powerful, and it added to my kind of toolbox. So whatever works, like I said, I'm a very practical person. Whatever works, I will use it to help my clients to get the results that they want.
Yeah, that does make you unique. You don't often hear financial or money coaches talking about healing, energy healing and that kind of stuff, but it makes a lot of sense to use it for money too, because money is energy, actually.
Money is energy, but it also, sometimes I feel I use money as a backdoor to people's subconscious mind.
Yeah.
Because it's one of the biggest triggers we have, right? So, and it's also a mirror. Yeah. For many people, it's a mirror of what kind of patterns, what kind of beliefs they have. So I can use this to help them overall blossom in life, because it's not only about the destination, it's about the person who you become in the process.
Right. That's so true. So true. Not money, the actual thing of money, but more the energy behind your thinking and your beliefs about wealth and money and whatever accumulation of it that has that energy behind it, So that's so interesting. It's fascinating. So what would be one piece of advice you would like to give our listeners?
I think it's very important that you know your values. Know your values, because once you know your values, then you are in a great position to align your choices and align your actions with your values. So you will get the vision that you want to achieve. For example, for me, my like I said, my core value was freedom. So I was aligning my choices and my actions with experiencing that. Some of my friends and family members were saying, like, you're in your mid-40s, but you look like you're in, a student, because you live in a rundown apartment, you have your little backpack. But you know what? I didn't care. I didn't care about wearing Armani suit or driving the latest version of BMW, because I knew that I am creating something that is important to me, and freedom was important to me. Versus like some of my friends and even family members, they like to live, very luxurious, prestigious life. And guess what? Now I work because I want to, not because I have to, and they work because they have to, not because they want to.
That's a big difference there. Yeah. Love it. So your offer is a Never Worry About Money Again complimentary consultation. And I will put the link in the show notes where people can reach out to you to grab that. And I think that's a valuable offer. Hopefully, ladies, you will grab that.
Can I just say a couple of things about what is included? So basically, it's a Never Worry About Money Again. It's a complimentary consultation with me, where we will discuss your unique pathway to financial independence, because everybody's pathway is unique. And I need to really see and hear from you where you are right now, where you want to get, so we could create the steps for you to get there. So the value of this gift is about $500, but I really very happy to offer this to you. And for those of you who will show up on this consultation, you will also get my Beginner Investor Toolkit. It's a toolkit that gives you ideas how to invest strategically, not just because someone gave you hot tip here and there, but you've got to become a strategic investor. And that's, by the way, part of my method. So to book this appointment with me for this complimentary consultation, you can go to speakwithmillen.com. Speak with, and then MILLEN.com, because some people just misspell my name. So I have to, someone told me you always have to spell your name, because nobody will guess that you have double L in your name. So speakwithmillen.com.
Okay, awesome. And again, that will be in the show notes. And I would say highly encourage my listeners to reach out for that if that's something that they're interested in. I love the idea of being strategic, and the toolkit sounds really awesome too. And I think your book sounds amazing. The Abundance. What was the title?
A shift toward abundance, secrets to financial freedom. Very easy to read, and it's a book where I talk about duality of money, because money, like you said, money and wealth have dual nature, spiritual and physical.
Okay, awesome. So fascinating, and your story is amazing. So thank you for coming today, and thank you for the way that you show up in the world, and that you, even though you don't have to work, that you are passing along all of your wisdom and knowledge and everything that you've learned to help other women find financial freedom. That's glorious and very much needed and very much appreciated. So I've enjoyed having you today. Thanks so much for coming.
Thank you so much, Janelle. Thank you so much for having me today, for giving me this opportunity to chat with you and to share my passion and share my services.
I'm so grateful. And ladies, as usual, until next time, be confident, be real, and be you. I hope you enjoyed that episode and got a lot out of it that will help you on your journey to becoming fearlessly confident. If you would like to know how to work with me to help you to become fearlessly confident, just email me, Janelle at emerginglifecoaching.com. You can also go to my website. There's lots of great resources on there, including a free mini course called Be Confident, Be Real, Be You. It's a 3-video course with downloadable action guides that will definitely help you to get on this journey to becoming fearlessly confident. My website is emerginglifecoaching.com. Thanks for listening, and until next time, be fearless, be confident, and be you.